Well, already we got a new update, and that's because, well, I decided that if I did these updates every quarter, it would get a little overboard when it comes to the amount I would have to pull out of the shelf. So I decided, you know what? Once I reach a certain amount for an update stream, I'll come on here and do a stream. And not just for the updates, but we will be chatting. Um, but yeah, just gonna be shooting the shit with you guys tonight since I didn't have any video plans for Thursday this week. So I thought, you know what? Why don't we do a CD collection stream and just talk it with you guys? And this is the 20th update. And I've only been doing these CD collection update videos since tail end of 2021, probably. So already 20 updates in about roughly 14, 15 months. So yeah, I'm a psycho. I'm a psycho. Sorry if I freak people out. But real quick before the update begins, I finally got this fucking shirt in the mail today after I ordered this early December from Earache Records' web store. This as well as two CDs that I actually forgot to pull out. So let me go grab those real quick. Here we are. So we'll go into the CDs in just a moment. But yes, finally got my Entombed Left Hand Path long sleeve. It's got Earache and Entombed. And initially it was kind of tight, so I had to do a little stretching like I put the under of the shirt over the back of a wooden chair and then just like slowly stretch it out so that way it didn't make my gut look too abnormally huge. And now it fits just fine. Though after I wash it, I'll pull the son of a bitch and then hang it up in the closet with the other shirts. But now we got some company because he's so in love with me, apparently. So, because look at his face right now. It's the Ricardo.
What's up?
Well, time to go over some new shit.
Ooh, the goodies. Goody. So, if my math is correct, I'm guessing you have brand new CDs. See, it's more than 20. I know that for sure. I'm going to go with 30.
You'll have to find out in just a moment. But needless to say, current CD count as of right now, as of this stream, at 927.
Already counting the Celtic Frost set too? Well, that's
Yep.
an individual box set.
It's an individual box that has
It has
5
CDs.
CDs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to remember, but yeah. But without further ado, it's time to dig into this motherfucker. So, starting off with the two CDs that I got along with the Entombed shirt. First, I already had the original CD of it, but it had a few scratches. And when I saw that this was cheap, I was like, fuck it. I got the other Ultimate Edition Earaches done, so why not get the other? And that's Hard Work.
Marcus. Hell yeah, hard work.
So now I have both versions, the 2021 Ultimate Edition and the original copy from 93. Though I might give away the original copy in a giveaway at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this particular version is cool because similar to the Altars of Madness Ultimate Edition, where it had their live in Nottingham '89 show, this has the Hard Work EP and demos from Hard Work.
That's the copy I have, also from the collection. And Carcass Live, oof. Especially when they play Hard Work at the very end, everyone lost their motherfucking mind. Especially Jeff. Jeff was so energetic. I was like, dude, calm the fuck down. It's like in his 50s. Still can go, man. I mean, luckily I was able to catch one of Jet's picks. I have it somewhere in the frame over there in my bed, but it's fucking cool.
Yeah. And then the other one I got from Earache is finally to complete the early era of Decapitated, Organic Hallucinosis. The
Ooh,
last album with Vitek, the drummer, before he tragically
hmm,
passed away in that bus accident a year later at only 23.
so young.
And
Fun.
fucking remarkable drummer. Like,
Hmm.
very much in the vein of Paul Mazurkowitz and Thomas Haka combined.
Hmm.
So yeah, early Decapitate. So now I need to get Cancer Culture, and I'll have all of the Decapitate I need, because honestly, prior to Cancer Culture and after this, not the best. So I'm gonna skip Blood
Hmm.
Mantra, Carnival Forever, and Anti Cold. Just go straight to Cancer Culture, because that actually was a great album.
Yeah. Actually, it wasn't for Sam on Banger TV when they did the Meta Evolution Extreme Meta episode. They had the album cover showing one of the vignettes. I was like, "Ooh, that's a nice album cover." And that's when I got into
For which
Decapitated.
one? Winds of Creation.
No, that one.
Oh, for
Yeah,
yeah,
the album
Organic
cover.
Hallucinosis. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that always stood out to me when he did that episode. I was like, oh shit, that's a kill ass album cover. I need to listen to that. And like, fucking a.
Yeah. But now moving on to the next one, and I know Ricky's happy I finally got this one. Emperor Anthems to the Wilken. That
Yeah.
guess now I need to get the other two Emperor albums, and I'll have all four.
Yeah. Are you
But
gonna get
yeah,
Are you gonna get the live albums or
probably
eventually?
not, unless I get into them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this version is the Candlelight Spine Farm remaster from 2017. That's why it's a skinny.
Mm-hmm.
It's a skinny case and
Yeah.
pretty interesting. But yeah, we got some Emperor action.
Yeah. I need to get more Emperor. I only have the Nightside Eclipse. I need to get the rest. Which they're still amazing albums, but of course everyone wants Nightside Eclipse.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we got Carnivore Retaliation. Now, I have both Carnivore albums, and this definitely the better of the two. Oh, Peter Steele, you politically incorrect, you hilarious self. We need more people like that in this world. I swear. I mean, when you have a song on here called Jesus Hitler, you know you're going to piss people off, and it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then songs like Suck My Dick, which is a brutal thrasher. And again, starting off with Jack Daniels and Pizza, where he just pukes into the toilet. Or Angry Neurotic Catholics, which is like almost borderline death metal with some of the riffing and drum work. But yeah, this is a fucking crazy ass album. And of course, there's PETA.
Mm-hmm. Young Peter.
May you rest in peace. And then this one, I am so happy I got. And holy shit, you want to talk about an underrated gem that Ricky, you need to check out. Disincarnate Dreams of the Carrion Kind. James
But
Murphy.
just by the album cover, it seems a bit heavy, dark, a bit mellow, just by the album cover.
Well, you'd be wrong. It's fucking brutal. Well, there is melody on here, but it's
Mm-hmm.
mostly about the brutal nature. Like, this is almost like as if you took Death, Morbid Angel, and Immolation and mashed it into a blender, but with James Murphy's signature melodic guitar solos.
Mm-hmm.
Since this was James Murphy's death metal project from
Mm-hmm.
'93, Roadrunner Records originally and recorded by Colin Richardson, but yet it has a bit of that like almost more sound to it,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's Colin Richardson. But yeah, holy shit, this album fucking kills. So yeah, you should check it out, Ricky. And anybody else who hasn't checked out Disincarnate Dreams of the Carrion Kind, what are you waiting for? All right, next up we get a compilation, the latest compilation from Incantation Tricennial of Blasphemy. 2 discs with demos and unreleased tracks, including Horde of Bestial Flames from Diabolical Conquest. And even have the Entrampment of Evil EP from, I think, 90 or 91. So it's on here too. Also, some unreleased studio songs, cover songs like a cover of Hell Awaits,
Oh, that must sound brutal as hell.
and some cool live tracks and some promo tracks from '96. The whole
I'm just imagining Incantation doing Angel of Death.
'90s.
Oh, that will be fucking brutal.
It
But
would be
again,
interesting, but then again, Monstrosity already took care of doing a
mhm.
Angel of death metal cover.
Then again, no one can. I can tell my right. The only way you can sing that high pitch is fucking hit with the fucking balls.
But anyway, so now getting into the next one, Paradise Lost Draconian Times, the
Hmm
25th anniversary edition by Sony Music
Yeah, that's the one I
and
have
Music
too.
for Nations. I still need to get as far as like all the Paradise Lost I need. I still need Gothic Shades of God and Icon, and then
Hmm
I'd have all the Paradise Lost I really need until I can check out some of the more late 2000s, early 2010s stuff before Plague Within came out. So yeah,
You
but yeah,
should check. Yeah,
Draconian
you should
Time.
check out In Requiem. It's
When did
fucking
that come
cool.
out?
That came out in 2007.
That would have been around that period. I feel like when they were going for that more like EDM sound, which was strange.
Yeah, this was after. I mean, this is when they kind of started to come back to like more the gothic kind of thing. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you should really check it out. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. It has some good tracks.
Next up, finally got this one in the collection, and I'm ashamed I didn't have it until now. Suicidal Tendencies, How Will I Laugh Tomorrow When I Can't Even Smile Today. Crossover Thrash Brilliance,
Mhm.
1988. Which I completely forgot to bring this up on Scott's stream a little bit ago for great 88 albums.
Yeah.
But I mean, Trip at the Brain, Pledge Your Allegiance, the title track.
Yeah.
So yeah. And plus, this was just right before you had the best lineup of the band. I mean, you have Rocky George and R.J. Herrera, Mike Clark, and Mike Muir. The only one missing to complete the classic lineup that would come the next album, Rob Trujillo. So almost to the peak lineup, just one album away.
hmm
And I do plan to get that one eventually. Lights, Camera, Revolution.
Yeah. I need to get Suicidal Tendencies too. Eventually.
Next up, we got a modern release by Vader, the
Ooh.
Empire.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
actually slowly working my way to getting all of Vader's stuff.
What are
The
you
only one
missing?
I'm missing a chunk of their shit.
Yeah.
I'm missing I forget the name of the album in '97, but that one's proven to be the hardest one to get.
Which one?
I forget the name. Let me
It's not the one that I have. No, that's their
No, De
south.
Profundis, which I
No.
already have.
Oh.
Black to the Blind, that's the one I can't find. But every other one I can get, like Litany, Revelations, The Beast, Impressions in Blood,
Are the Art of War
25,
EP.
maybe.
Mhm.
But yeah, I already got like Ultimate Incantation, De Profundis. I also want to get Future of the Past, the first cover album they did, because they did some killer covers of Slayer and Terrorizer. But yeah, we got Empire from 2016. We should maybe get a new album by them this year, since it's
Mhm.
been 3 years since Solitude and Madness.
Yeah, I think it's time that we get new Beta.
Next up, this one I got yesterday. Maceration, A Serenade of Agony. Dan Swano on vocals.
Of
And
course.
and of course, the funny story is that he rode a train from Sweden to Denmark to record this album. And he was thinking, oh, now that I'm finally here in Denmark, I can go get some sleep. And he gets to the studio to say hello to the guys, and they're like, we got the studio booked. They're doing the vocals now. And he's like, fuck me. So, yeah, he's out of breath, but he's doing his damnedest on this album. And eventually, coming soon, I got the new one that came out late last year. It Never Ends on the way. So I'll have both of the Maceration albums. But not only
Mhm.
with Dan Swano on here, but Jacob Hansen on guitar. And he would later, I think he's still in the band Invocator, which is like technical thrash. but he's mostly been doing production work for bands like Aborted and so many big bands. But yeah, Maceration, underrated Danish death metal.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of underrated bands, we got Perdition Temple's Sacraments of Dissension. This is the first one out of a 10-pack I got for $50 off of Hell's Headbangers.
Mm-hmm.
And this Perdition Temple, basically, if you like black metal and you like Morbid Angel, this is it for you. Then again, it has Gene, who was the main man behind the band Angel Corpse, which was pretty much what this band was before Angel Corpse broke up. And then after Angel Corpse broke up, Gene formed Perdition Temple, basically continuation of Angel Corpse, but with even more black metal and more Morbid Angel worship. And this one was the album from 2020. So I have the last two Perdition Temple albums and really evil shit. Honestly, better than anything Behemoth has done since The Satanist. Sorry.
I mean, In Cadre Venium was better than I Love You the Darkest, but then I Love You the Darkest
Still not quite there yet.
I know, but then I Love You the Darkest has Barzabel, so I'll give him a pass because Barzabel live. Oh.
But anyways, and then finally to complete the classic era of Iced Earth, Night of the Storm Rider.
Yeah.
With the pentagram on the cover or on the back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now I got the early stuff and majority of the Matt Barlow era of Iced Earth, and now I am a happy man. I might get Glorious Burden, and
you should get Glorious Burden.
Since after all, Ripper Owens.
It's Ripper Owens, yeah. I mean,
and
why
I think
not?
Richard Christie was on drums at the time too. So yeah, I'll probably get Glorious Burden at some point, and maybe the other Ripper albums. But yeah. Night of the Storm Rider. I mean, the song Desert Rain. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to get Burnt Offerings and the Dark Saga eventually.
Burnt Offerings is a must.
I mean, Dante's Inferno. That song alone makes it. Yeah.
Now, the next two, we got a double pack, and that's from Deathhammer. We have Onward to the Pits and Evil Power. Blackened thrash out of Norway. Sounds very much like early Creator, early Sodom, and it's evil brilliance. I mean, that last album, Electric Warfare, that came out last year, that was a year-ender for me. That was an amazing album. Haven't gotten to listen to these yet, but I will eventually. I'm planning on getting the rest of the Deathhammer stuff. I think I'm only missing 2 more from this band. But yeah, very underrated and overlooked Blackened thrash. So...
From Norway, right?
Yep. So they kind of also have a bit of a vibe similar to Ara Noir as well, except maybe not as blackened and more thrashy than Blackened. Next 3, we have a triple threat of Napalm Death. We have Fear, Emptiness, Despair from 94, when they kind of incorporate a little bit of the Pantera influence, but still maintaining the death grind sound. Twist a Knife Slowly off of the Mortal Kombat soundtrack that opens this. Plague Rages. It's fucking one of the best Napalm songs. Then we get Enemy of the Music Business, when they went back to straight up grind death. And this also comes with the Leaders Not Followers Part 1 EP, where they covered Repulsion, Death, Dead Kennedys, Slaughter. So yeah, really good stuff right here. And then Order of the Leech from 2002. I mean, the songs like Icing on the Hate, Forewarned is Disarmed, Per Capita, Lowest Common Denominator, just fucking brutal album. Now the only Napalm albums I'm missing is the not-so-loved period of the mid to late 90s, and that's Diatribes, Inside the Torn Apart, particularly. But Words from the Exit Wound I do want to get, because that was kind of like, almost like the bridge album between these two. Like, it still had some of the groove from this, but preluding to this. So I might get Words from the Exit Wound.
Are you going to get the rest?
Probably not, because Diatribes and Inside the Torn Apart, not that great. Plus, that was a tumultuous time for Napalm, anyways.
Yeah.
The next two, we got a duality of Druid Lord, Grotesque Offerings.
Oh, yeah.
I still need to find the debut, and that's the only one I'm missing. But yeah, Ricky and I both loved this one.
Hmm.
This was in my top 50 list last year. So
Yeah. That
yeah,
was in my top
basically,
10 of this last year.
if you like early, like the first two Hooded Menace albums, you'll love Druid Lord.
Hmm.
So there's that for you. This one I got the other day, and this is a band that I can't wait to hear a new album from, and that's Hellslave from the Sulphur Depths. Started out as a mellow death band, now they're just straight up death metal, very much in the vein of Entombed and Bloodbath, especially. So this is like Entombed Bloodbath worship done right, because it's got the HM2 tone, and it's just gross, groovy, and thrashy. Yeah, I know we got the new album from the other big worship band, Wretched Fate, which is an Italian band that worships Swedish death. That's coming out soon. I can't wait to check it out. But I hope we get new Hellslave this year, and also Dan Swano mixed to this too. So there's another reason I love it. Next up, another one out of the Hell's Headbangers 10 for 50 deal, and that's Bewitchers Under the Witching
Ooh.
Cross. Basically, for those who love Hellripper and Midnight and Blackened Speed, Blackened Thrash, or Blackened Classic Metal, here you go with Bewitcher. I need to check out more Bewitcher, to be honest, especially since we're both big fans of Midnight and Hellripper, and this is
Hmm.
right up that alley. So, yeah, some Bewitcher. Another one from that 10 pack we got, and this was a band that I remember I got that package from Classy Lonnie Metal or Classic Metal Lonnie.
Hmm.
That he also sent those two Swallow the Sun albums, but he sent me an album from this band, so I was like, you know what, I might as well get another one from him. Mongrel's Cross with Arcana Scrying Revelation. Blackened Thrash from Australia, I think, so very much in that Destroyer 666, Nocturnal
Yeah.
Graves sound. So yeah, Mongrel's Cross. Then another one out of that pack is Malefic Throne's self-titled EP that came out last year. Talked about with Perdition Temple, you have Gene from Perdition Temple, but also Steve Tucker from Morbid Angel on here too. So it's almost like a super group of Perdition Temple and Morbid Angel. So it's like Gene, he's getting to work with an idol musician from an idol band. And holy shit, Steve Tucker even does like black metal vocals on some spots on here too, and he's got a hell of a voice. Please, let's get a new Morbid Angel album this year. Please.
If only we could dream.
Then another one from that deal, and this is a fucking thick monster right here. Nunslaughter's Devil Conjuries Volume 3. Basically, the only way you can collect Nunslaughter is to buy the studio albums and these compilations. Otherwise, you're going to have to buy a shit ton of splits and EPs and demos. Because if you go to their Metal Archives page, it's just comedic seeing how many releases they've had. It's insane. And that they've only had 5 full-length studio albums. But yeah, Nunslaughter, fucking fun, evil death metal from right here in Ohio. So, yeah, Nunslaughter. And then the final one out of that 10-pack, kind of a cult classic from 1985, Bulldozer, The Day of Wrath.
Mm.
Basically, Italian Venom.
Yeah.
But a little bit, or Italian Bathory. Like, it's thrashy, blackened stuff, speed metal. And after all, they look like they're crazy partiers. But yeah, really cool shit. I actually want to get the following 2 Bulldozer albums where they got even thrashier and more chaotic. But yeah, Bulldozer. Not that many left. We only got 5 more for this. Next up, we got Cryptopsy Whisper Supremacy. The first one with Mike DeSalvo on vocals after Lord Worm left. I don't plan to get the follow-up, Then You'll Beg, because that one, not that great. At least it's not the Unspoken King. That album was atrocious because they tried going deathcore, and it's like, why would a brutal tech death band have to go deathcore? But I digress. But yeah, this is actually a very underrated Cryptopsy album. Same with Once Was Not, which was mid 2000s with Lord Worm. I might give Once Was Not, and the self-titled album and the two Book of Suffering EPs. Hopefully, we get a full length from Cryptopsy. Long overdue. It's been 5 years since the last EP. So maybe. But yeah,
Maybe.
Cryptopsy for Supremacy. And this is the Super Jewel case where you have to open it in a special way. This is only the second Super Jewel case I got because it comes from Cosmic Key Creations, who do reissues of old Nuclear Blast and old Century Media releases. And I like the Super Jewel cases. They're more durable. Next three, we got a triple threat of the remaining Gore Guts albums I needed. We got Obscura, From Wisdom to Hate, and the last EP, Pallades Dust. Now, these two I was able to get cheap, and that's because these were reissued last year by Punishment 18 Records, which is an Italian label that do reissues of obscure label stuff. So yeah, I was able to get these pretty cheap. After all, Obscura, if you like dissonance and chaos in your tech death or avant-garde death, there you go. Whereas From Wisdom to Hate's a bit more straightforward. And then Pallades Dust, it's one 32-minute song, and it just atmosphere upon atmosphere. So, yeah, there's the Gore Guts. And then last but certainly not least, Obituaries Dying of Everything.
Oh, hell yeah.
Currently my album of the year for 2023, and we're only a few weeks in. But yeah, just catchy, fun, Barely Alive, War, Weaponized to Hate, By the Dawn, Be Warned, where they went straight up Death Doom. Fucking awesome, badass album. And Obituaries still kill and kick ass. I just wish that this tour they just announced with Immolation and Blood Incantation had an Ohio date. I would have went to that.
Obituary Live was so much fun. It seemed like the guys were just having a fucking blast. And Terry Butler, I'm like, Terry, remember me? Remember me? Left to Death, remember?
Left to Die, yeah.
Left to Die, remember me? I mean, they had a fucking blast, man.
Yeah. Yes. I just wish they had an Ohio show for this tour with Immolation and Blood Incantation.
What's the closest?
Detroit.
Oh, fuck.
7 hours. Shit. No, not doing it. And I hate Detroit anyway, so.
I mean, if it was WrestleMania.
And I'm still trying to find somebody to go to that Morbid Angel show with.
Where is it?
It's either Columbus or Cincinnati. I haven't just decided on which one. I was gonna do the Columbus show because I thought the Thralls guys were gonna be there, but I guess they're going to the Fort Wayne, Indiana show, which is 2 nights prior, because that's the last show with Skeletal Remains opening before they get Vitriol for the rest of the tour. But yeah, I'm hoping I can find somebody, and then I can buy the tickets, because the tickets are $30 a pop.
They're pretty cheap.
Pretty good for 4 bands: Vitriol, Crypta, Revocation, and Morbid Angel.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I spend for Amon Amarth with Carcass, Obituary,
Cattle Decap,
and Cattle Decap, which $30 for 4 bands. Fuck yeah.
But just to get advice, especially for a club show, how the hell do you manage to meet musicians? Like, where do you have to go?
So for that situation,
I definitely want to meet. I want to meet Dave Davidson from Revocation for sure. Maybe Ash Pearson, the drummer, and then meet Steve Tucker and Trey from Morbid.
It depends on the club. How big is the club? Is it like a 1-story, 2-story? How big is it, more or less?
Well, it's still debating on either the Cincinnati place or the Columbus place. Well, actually, let me look at the Columbus place. King of Clubs is what it was called.
Yeah.
But I saw they had some damn good sandwiches. King of Clubs venue. Let me see. It actually there's a couple of balconies. Actually
Okay.
holds about 1,000 people.
Okay, so in that case, must be like a two-story. So there must
Mhm.
be somehow backstage in the back where the band can be, which is the main thing in the club. They can have a room for the band to, relax and get ready for the show. So sometimes, depending on the individuals, like Rick Ross was just going left and right throughout the bar, and we was like, "Dude, is that Rick Ross?" Like, oh, she was helping out with the equipment. And then one time it was just chatting with some guys, and I just approached him like, "Hey, nice to meet you. I'm a big fan. Can you sign my Leprosy CD?" And then took a picture. But the venue wasn't as big. But
Mhm.
sometimes you can get lucky after the show. Wait for like maybe because after the show, I waited like 10-15 minutes tops before I met Terry when he came out after I think he took a shower or something. He was like at the very back. Some guys were approaching him, and I just say like, "Hey, thank you for all you do. It's on my leprosy CD." He took a picture. So wait. That's the main. You gotta wait for a bit. If they have a tour bus, it depends. Like if they have a tour bus, try to be not as close the closest you can get, but not be on the fucking door, because you don't want
Mhm.
to be that guy who's like,
No.
I've got to like barricade
Like,
and
let me
people
in, let me in.
get in. So that's the thing, you gotta wait. If you can meet them, let's just say they finish a set, if they go to the bar, which usually sometimes they you always do,
Mhm.
try to wait a couple of minutes, see if they come out, and try to approach them in a nice way. Don't go all fanboy, even though
Oh,
you're
you know
like,
me.
yeah. Sometimes they have a back door, depending on the club where they hang out. So I don't know, man. Just it's time, man. You gotta take, like I said, it took me like 15 minutes after the show to meet Terry, and I was almost leaving, but then I was like, now let me wait just a couple more minutes, and boom, Terry came out.
And then I'm trying to look up the Riverfront Live
Mm-hmm.
venue in Cincinnati, and it looks roughly the same size, maybe a little bit bigger than the club in Columbus,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
I might still do the Columbus one possibly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It depends. But then again, the Cincinnati show, it's like the venue is just right off of Route 52, which is where I live,
I mean, I
close to
mean,
Route 52. So it's not that far of a drive, maybe like 90 minutes to 2 hours.
that's not bad. Two
That
hours.
is if you avoid traffic and you drive faster than 40
Mm-hmm.
miles an hour.
If you're lucky enough, get there early. Maybe you can
Well,
meet
the
them before the
shows
show.
the shows all start at 6:30. I think it's pretty much the same as the Megadeth show. Like first two bands 30 minutes. I would say Revocation get an hour and Morbid maybe an
Hmm.
hour and a half.
But what time do the doors open?
That I have no fucking idea. Let me see.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna open an hour before.
Yeah, because they opened an hour before the Megadeth
Yeah.
show.
So if I were you, I would probably get there because also you want to get good seats or a good spot to see the band.
Hell, fucking the week before Morbid plays, Fozzie's playing on
uh,
the second.
so they're playing at 6:30. Let's just say they play around 5:30. If I were
Doors
you,
doors open at 6:30.
oh, okay. So if I were you, would get there probably
Probably
around
get there at about 5:30 ish.
4:30 ish, the latest. Because when I saw him on a Mars, it was cold, and there was a guy at the very front who was there since 2 in the afternoon, and I got there at 4:30, and the doors open at 5:30, and then the show started at 6:30. So get there at least 4:30, the latest 4:45. You
Hmm.
know that way you can get good seats. You can be one of the first ones to get merch. That's the main thing. Get some merch.
Oh, you know I'll get merch.
because
Don't
after the
worry about
show,
that.
because with me, I always like to get merch after the show. I don't know. It's a thing with me because if I stay too long in the merch table, I'm not gonna get a good seat. I'm not gonna get a good spot. So I always try to go straight to the venue and get a good spot. And then after the show, I try to see what they have on their booths. They have a CD, I'll buy it. They have a patch, I'll buy it. Sometimes you're lucky enough, they're actually there. The band's there on their booth. They're just meeting people, saying hi. It depends on the band, depends on the venue. It just depends, man. If you're lucky enough, if you're lucky enough like me that I stayed till 1 in the morning in San Antonio waiting for Cradle of Filth, which I've met almost everybody except for Danny and Daniel, the bassist, you know. But then again, I didn't have a car at the time. I actually went through a bus. I actually missed my bus just to meet Cradle of Filth.
But that
Yeah.
had to have been a pain to try to get back home. Howard, I need an adult. I need an adult.
Actually, no. So here's the funny story. I think I told you this years ago. So after the show, I met some guys who were waiting also for Cradle of Filth. We're like chatting, and then one thing led to another. They asked me where I'm from, and then I told them, oh, I'm from Laredo. They're like, no way, we're from Laredo too. They're like, really? Like, yeah. And then they asked me, where'd you graduate? From the same high school. We're like, no fucking way. And they asked me what year, and I told them, no, 2015. Oh, we're like from 2010. So, so there was like a group of 5 guys there. 4 of them lived in San Antonio, and one of them was from Laredo, my hometown. So we were just chatting there, waiting for the band, and then I was trying to look at my watch. I mean, the bus station to the venue, the Aztec Theater in San Antonio. If anyone watching know that the San Antonio down St. Mary Street, it's not that far from the bus station, like maybe like 5 blocks. Because you pass the railroad, you pass the Baptist church, you pass some parking, so it's not that far. So I was looking at my watch. I was like, it's 11:45, it's 11:50. I gotta run to get my bus because then I'm gonna have to catch the next bus, which was like 2 a.m. So and then I asked the guy who lived in the same town, "Can you give me a ride home? If we stay a bit later, I'll pay you for the gas." He said, "Yeah." And funny enough, his name was the same me. His same name. His name was Ricardo. So it was funny, like like Ricky to Ricky and all that. And then we stayed to,
Ricardo,
yeah, exactly.
Richard.
Yeah. So we stayed to one, yeah, almost like close to 1:15. That's when the band started to come out. That's when I met Lindsay. I met Mark. I met Craig. I met almost everybody except for Danny and Daniel, the bassist. I really wanted to meet Danny Filth, but Danny Filth came out like later. But the guy was really had to go home. I was like, fine, we'll go home. And we're driving down, down home. And then he asked me by what area I live in. I told him I live by the south side. It's by the north side. He couldn't drop me off home because once he got home, which was almost like 3 in the morning, he had to go home, change, and go to work. So we were like, how are we gonna do this? We stop at a gas station, calls me a fucking cab, and the cab takes me home. And my parents never found out about it.
So basically, like Seth Rollins going to go to a Meshuggah show, never said anything about it until he was like, ah, crap.
Yeah, I just told my parents I was gonna go with my friend. We're gonna after the show, his parents were gonna drop us off to get something to eat, and they're gonna drop me off. Which, I mean, it's kind of true in a way. That was like the only time I actually took a cab. Well, the guy called the cab. I had to fucking pay for the for the service. And funny enough, my phone was at 1%.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just remember texting my mom like, "Hey, I'm gonna come later than usual." Just because my mom was like, "Just tell me when you get there. Tell me when something like that," because she worries. I mean, it's my mom. But that's one of those stories that to this day I just find it hilarious that I missed my bus just to meet Cradle of Filth, and it was fucking worth it because I got to meet Lindsay, and my God, you know how much I love Lindsay. So it was like, oh man, one of my dreams just there, and everyone from Cradle was so amazing. I met the guys from Raven Black. They were amazing. I couldn't meet the chance to meet Wednesday 13. I was like, oh, I wish I could meet him, talk to him about playing with Jordy and all that, but he didn't come out. But it was one of those funny stories that I always remember going to that show because that's I think the only time I've ever done that in San Antonio because I haven't done that ever since. I didn't do it when I saw Behemoth. I didn't do it when I saw Cattle, even though I wanted to meet the guys in Cattle and Carcass. But, I had to go home early as soon as the show ended. So if you have the chance to meet a band or an artist, like take the chance because you never know, man. You never know when you're going to meet them.
Yeah. I might have to
Take-
ask you again at some point about where to go. But yeah.
Where to go to what?
Where to go to meet them, like either outside, like we're at outside or whatever. Like where the
So, yeah, like I said, it depends. If they're driving a bus, usually they're going to go after the show to their bus.
yeah.
It depends. Sometimes I know like Manson, when I saw Manson, I know once the show ended, he fucking took off. Some people like to stay after the show in the backstage, relax, get I guess the high down, kind of relax after the show, and then
And then hang out on
afterwards,
the bus and with the people for a while, and
yeah,
then leave at like 2 or 3 in the morning to go to the next town.
yeah. I mean, sometimes it's great. Sometimes they're mostly. I mean, everyone that I've met has always been nice. Nothing bad about them. I know
Yeah.
eventually, whenever that happens, I'm gonna meet someone's like a fucking prick. But eventually, as of now, everyone I've met throughout the years, very nice. Nothing bad to say about them. All the artists I've met, pretty good. I have pictures with them somewhere in my laptop, there. But you know, and now you remember me at the bar. That's how I actually got the guy. That's how I actually got to meet the guys from WADA when they came to town. I didn't. So the thing with Owada was that since you don't know who they are, they always covered in a hood. So when I got there to the club, it was a bar. Actually, it was a small ass bar, but it could fit like maybe 200 people. I was one of the first ones who got there. I was like, let me get there early, and I was able to get one of the beers that I have right now, which is the Maiden one. I think I paid like $12, but it's Maiden unopened. Even though I don't drink, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy it. Um, there were some people unloading. I was like, I don't know who these guys are. Eventually, after the show, of course, they were hanging out in a patio, talking to the fans, and they were the guys from Owada. And when they took a photo with Owada, they covered some of the hood because they're trying to keep their identity hidden. And when Owada was playing, and they had like people flashing, the security would like go after them like no flash photography because you can actually see their faces. They're trying to keep the identity hidden, So it's those crazy things, but the show was a fucking blast. Being my first black metal show was something unexpected. Of course, they played songs from the album of the time that we're touring, which was I think it was Snakes and Vultures. I think. Yeah, I think it was Snakes and Vultures from that album. I know it was their sophomore album. I just remember the name of the album. But man, that was a fucking blast. Who else have I met at a bar? I've met the guys from Omen at a bar. They play at a bar. And funny enough, after the show, they just hanged out and I took photos with everybody from the band. It was fucking raining as hell, like almost hurricane rain. That I actually, at the time, was when I was barely learning how to drive. I actually took the chance, run to my car at the time, and just went home on the pouring ass rain. And the streets were flooded. So you should have seen me like shit in my pants. Like, fuck, what did I get myself into? Who else?
Well, I don't know if you saw this, but we've got an early update on who some of the bands are playing for Maryland Death Fest next year. Since they're
No.
bringing it back next year. Not all the bands. They've got about 35 bands announced, but there'll be a lot more announced. But as far as like notable bands, so we have Let me move this over here real quick. So for major bands at Maryland Death Fest next year, we have Vomitory,
Mm-hmm.
Tankard,
Ooh.
Skinless, Severe Torture, Mortuary Drape, Defleshed, Deathhammer, Coffins, Carpathian Forest, Broken Hope,
Mhm.
Archgoat, Ara Noir, Ahab, 1349, and currently the four headliners Vomitory, Grave, Bloodbath, and Primordial.
Ooh.
So mostly a mixture of death metal and black metal bands so
Yeah.
far, with a couple of
So
thrashers. But
so
there's probably
that
going to be
yeah.
more big bands being announced.
So that now brings the question with two bands you just mentioned, Primordial and Broken Hope. If they're coming to the States, tour? I mean, when's Maryland Death Fest? When is it?
Next year, Memorial Day weekend 2024.
2024.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
long ways away. So if I were to attempt to go, I got plenty of time to save money for tickets
yeah,
and merch.
same. Yeah,
Because you know the merch fucking booths at Maryland Death Fest, they're filled to the brim with a ton of shit:
I
patches,
mean,
flags, posters, albums, CDs,
I
shirts.
mean,
Holy shit!
if Vodkan alone has a shitload of stuff.
Maryland Death Fest is like the U.S. equivalent to Vakken.
Yeah, man, I really need to. I would love to go. I mean, who never knows? I mean, when is the date again?
Memorial Day weekend. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's
4 days.
days.
4 days. Oh man, that's even tempting.
Yeah, you
And
got
what part
one
of America?
outdoor place and one indoor place. I forget what. It's in Baltimore.
So it's Baltimore.
Yeah, they plan on using four stages: the Rams Head, Soundstage, Power Plant, and a potential stage outside of a place called Marketplace near the Soundstage. But it's like brisk walks to a lot of these places, at least according
Yeah,
to Nick and John, because they went to
yeah.
Maryland Death Fest last year, where they got, oh, John, you went overboard on patches. I think you got enough for a fucking trench coat.
I think you and I will go overboard on the CDs.
I'll also go crazy on patches, maybe get some flags and shirts. I'd probably
True.
go overboard in general. Like, it'd probably be I'd be buying the amount of merch that would be like a down payment on a fucking car.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, because that's how much I would pay. Because yeah, I know how much you're talking about. That's how much I pay for my car. But oh man, that would be fucking awesome. But right now, in terms of concerts, Ville Valo in April, I got that covered. Brujeria is coming in fucking February, which I'm fucking excited. You know, February 28th, Hell fucking yeah, Matando Güeros. Viva la raza. Matando Güeros. Estilo Pancho Villa. And
And then while
then,
I was on Metal Injection to see the lineup for Maryland Death Fest, I see the whole stupid thing happening with Pantera over in Europe, which I have to say to you
yeah,
people,
I
get
saw
the fuck
that.
over it. Phil fucked up one time. He ain't racist, so shut the fuck up and just let them
Yeah,
play.
I saw that. I was like, really? They're still anal about that?
Just because he was drunk and he said something stupid doesn't mean he's racist. He's from
I
New
mean,
Orleans. Jesus Christ.
then again, thank God it's not Poland.
Oh God.
If it was in Poland, he would have been fucking arrested. Because
Yeah.
you know how Poland is. I mean,
I mean,
look
look
at
at what's
Nurgle,
going with Nurgle. They keep trying to go at him for stupid shit.
and they never fucking win.
It's like at this point, Nurgle just moved to fucking Canada
I know, but you know, it's
so you can
Poland. I
avoid
think
that shit
I know, but you know how Nurgle is. He likes the controversy. He likes to fuck people in the ass.
with a
Then,
rusty dildo,
then again,
a,
then
a
again,
rusty satanic dildo.
to this day, Poland with me, ever since Warsaw, Gorgoroth, this is when they fucking like lost their shit. Then again, naked people, suffocated, real blood. don't see their point. But it's, you know, Poland. Sometimes we love you, sometimes we fucking hate you.
Yeah. But I digress with the Phil thing. And then I saw Terrorizer broke up again,
Again, for the
which doesn't
billionth
shock
time.
me. Which doesn't shock me because now Pete's busy doing the I Am Morbid stuff with David Vincent, basically playing old Morbid Angel stuff together. It's like sometimes I just wish fucking Pete, go back to Morbid Angel proper. Nothing
I
against
mean,
Scott Fuller, he's a hell of a drummer, but you can't defeat Pete the Feet.
I mean,
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe there's some legal stuff we don't know about. So
Well, I mean, Pete left after he had back surgery, and he was just like, "Yeah, well, if I'm out for this long, I guess I might as well leave altogether."
I mean, I'm guessing he's trying to test the waters first if he's still able to perform.
Well, he still can perform. I mean, hell, he did fucking 2 Terrorizer albums since the surgery, which was 13 years ago when he had the surgery. So he's been fine for a while.
I mean, like I said, must be some legal stuff we don't know about.
I don't think. I think it might just be personality stuff.
Yeah.
Because then again, Pete became a born again Christian, which I guess Trey wasn't that so happy about. But then again, he's playing with David Vincent, so I guess it's not that big of a problem for Dave. I actually am curious, like, speaking of David Vincent, another band I'm shocked that hasn't released anything new is Ultimus with He, Blasphemer, and Flo Monnier. Because that album that came out in 2019 was pretty good. I actually need to get it. Something Wicked Marches In. Blackened Death, courtesy of one of the old masterminds of Morbid Angel, a former guitarist of Mayhem, and one of the most underrated metal drummers from Cryptopsy. Then again, Flo Monnier, he's a busy motherfucker, not only with Ultimus and Arise from Worms with Steve Tucker and Sonny Lombardozzi, and also Cryptopsy. He's a busy drummer.
So, what time we're doing Shadow Call on Saturday?
You'll probably have to message. Probably 4.
So 3 in the afternoon for me.
3 for you, 4 for the rest of us.
So I have to be already up at that time.
Because Rumble pre-show Rumble don't start till 7, so we'd have
which is 6 for me.
And it might be a quick episode too. So
yeah.
But I tell you, I am itching to do that. Switching something out in February to put in that Roman Reigns rebooking we're gonna do because I've been practicing for the past week. It's like, I'm just getting itch to just get that done instead of waiting all the way until the end of April. I want to do it in February. I'm actually thinking about just swapping a top 10 list out just to put that in. So there you go.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll tell them on before we do the show Saturday.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Because I can't wait to do it. Because
speaking of brujeria, actually before I did this, I actually recorded episode 3 for Controversial Albums. I did it on Matando Güeros. That's going to be premiering tomorrow at 12 p.m. my time. So it will be 1 for you. So, and some crazy stuff I actually found out that I didn't know about. The controversy behind the album cover. Well, what happened afterwards the album cover was released.
Oh, the debut album?
With the debut.
Decapitated head?
Yeah, the debut. Let's just say it involves the FBI.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of knew more or less about that story, but I was like, I didn't know it went that far.
So basically, it was kind of like what happened with Body Count, the song Cop Killer. Same thing.
Kind of. I don't want to say much. You have to find out tomorrow.
But yeah.
And then for episode 4, I'm gonna do an Oscar. Bertram. That's gonna be interesting.
And it's funny thinking about Varg and Phil Anselmo. It's like people want to treat Phil as the worst human being alive for one little slip up, yet they want to treat Varg like he's the greatest man alive, despite he's a clear racist and a murderer. So hypocrites much?
And an arsonist.
Yeah. He makes my friend Carson look like an angel. as a joke because of Town of Salem with my
Yeah.
friend Carson. But yeah, you get the idea.
Hmm.
Hypocrite bigots.
I mean,
But
I
I
don't know.
digress.
I mean, it's fucking Varg. I mean, love the music, but as the
But as
guy,
a human being, fuck off.
I mean, with Burzum after Philosophem, I really just don't
Nobody
really.
cares.
Nobody
Nobody
cares because
fucking gives a
Philosophem
shit.
was like the last album that was fucking good.
I mean, I heard people say the album Fallen from 2011 was really good, but whatever.
Mm,
I only like the first album. I don't care for the rest.
yeah, and it's funny. I was actually like researching for Oskay. Maybe you knew this, but the first printing of the Oskay albums, I think it was the vinyl. It actually came with matches, like real matches. So I don't know if it was the vinyl or the first printing of the CD. I'm not sure, but it actually came with matches. And if you go on eBay, on Discogs,
It's probably worth a shit ton of money.
oh yeah, it's worth a shit ton of money. It is, trust me, it is because it's first printing. I think some guy on YouTube said that he bought it for. Let's see, I think he was in Australia that he's from, so more or less, if I remember, in America, it was like close to 400.
Wow.
Yeah, but the vinyl version, not the CD version. Ugh.
What?
Yep, 400 bucks. Original with the matches included. So then again, I mean, we're crazy as hell when it comes to physical media. So I mean, I wouldn't spend 400 bucks on that. I
No,
would
as I said, you know me, the maximum I'll go is 30.
same with me when I bought the X Japan Art of Live CD. 30 bucks is my limit on one album.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something rare, like hard to find, it's like 35 bucks to 40 bucks. I'll probably bite the bullet. It depends on the album. If I know there's a reissue later coming up, which I still remember when we got Winter into Darkness original copies, and then like a month after they reissued the fucking thing. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, really? For all this time looking for Into Darkness to
After
reissue?
all this time, you do this to us.
Yeah. Oh
But
man.
actually, I haven't checked out any updates on what else will be coming out after April for albums because I need to update my list because actually I do need to check out an album in the morning to review to post for Saturday and then one for Sunday. And it's
Mhm.
going to be two underground albums because there wasn't anything crazy major that's coming out this weekend. But I see we're now up to 5 pages for upcoming albums on Metal Archive. So let's see what we got.
Mhm.
Anything? Oh, actually, 6 pages. All right. Anything major after Metallica?
Mm.
Well, of course, Cow Decapitation. We already knew
Yeah.
that. Mostly underground stuff.
Mhm.
Grave Worm, which I've heard the name. I've never checked out their stuff. Apparently, they're like melodic black and death gothic. This is like a weird hybrid. Let's see, what's this band? Carried the Torch. Swedish death thrash, but no similar artists
Must
on
be
there.
brand new.
Well, it says they've been around since 2011, but I guess this upcoming album, this is their second album, first one
Mhm.
in 4 years, so I'll probably check that out. Let's see. Fires in the Distance on Prosthetic Records, so already on a big label. They're a melodic death doom band.
Ooh, that's my alley.
And there's only 3 bands they're mostly compared to: Woods of Ypres, Bellacore, and Insomnium.
Okay.
So they're, I guess,
Okay.
they're more on the mellow death
Death
side
side.
than the
Yeah.
doom side. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll probably check them out, especially if they're on Prosthetic Records. Should be good.
Mhm.
Let's see. Anything else that's crazy? Oh, finally the confirmation of the new Overkill album comes out the same day as Metallica, the 14th of April, Scorched, their 20th album. So, I got that weekend of albums set for review, Metallica and Overkill,
Yeah.
two thrash legends. So that's pretty much set. Let me check this one. Devangelic with Zol, Italian brutal death metal band, compared to bands like Disgorge, Disentombed, Putrid Pile, Defeated Sanity. So this might be like extra gurgly. Let me go to the previous page and see what else. What else that I could add on to the list?
I mean, we're still at the beginning of the year, so you never fucking know.
Judiciary, Flesh and Blood, apparently a crossover thrash band from Lubbock, Texas.
Ooh.
On Closed Casket Activities Records, and they're mostly compared to Enforced and Power Trip.
Okay.
So, this one might be pretty cool. Holy balls! Wow. Nervous Chaos, this Brazilian death metal. Not too many bands are compared to Sinister, Sepultura, Vader, and Jungle Rot, so might be like thrashy, evil death. Like thrashy death. And apparently this band been around since 96. Never heard of them. Let's see what else. Old Forest. So this is a black metal album on Soul Cellar Records, where Blood Red Throne is at now. So this might be British band too. But none of the bands that they're compared to I've heard of. So this might be like atmospheric black. And their lyrics are Tolkien Middle Earth lyrics. So basically black metal Blind Guardian.
Pretty much. I was good. Maybe a bit Burzum, not Burzum, Primordial-esque. Maybe
or summoning, or even summoning,
or Falkenbach.
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 Falkenbach. Oh, Falkenbach. That is brilliant. Hell Crash, Blackened Speed from Italy. Venom, Motorhead, and they're compared to, so that one might be a good one to check. And it's only their second album. Holy Kentucky mushrooms. Let's see. Contemplation with Brain Mechanics. This is a one French one-man atmospheric death doom project. Oh, it's a collaboration album. It's not even an album from him. Never mind. Let's see. Where was I? Because it fucked up. Back to page 5. I gotta wait. Okay. Depraved Murder with Unethical Terrestrial Terrestrial Collapse. Indonesian Brutal Death.
Sounds interesting.
I'll probably pass on that. Accelerate. Why did it make me go to Narna Wall of Steel? I didn't want to go there. Danish power thrash band. It's their debut, and they're compared to Flotsam and Jetsam, so it should be good. I'll probably put that on the list if I remember. Any other ones that I skipped over? Don't think so, at least on this page. Let me go to page 4. Holy shit. Page 4. What else do we got?
Mm.
Let me go to the bottom and see if there was any that I missed. As Light Dies, like
Hmm.
Death, Black, Doom, Gothic
Ooh.
from Spain, but no bands to compare to, so I wouldn't know what I'd be getting
Wait,
myself in with
wait.
that.
What was the band again?
As Light Dies, not Daylight Dies, but As Light Dies, or a
I think
Spain band.
I think I know these guys.
Shit. Necropanther with Betrayal, melodic death thrash compared to Skeleton Witch, so actually I might check that one out. Necropanther.
Mm.
Why stop yawning, damn it.
I think I've heard of these guys before.
Moira, Polish mellow death band, and it's a debut album compared to Arch Enemy. Because they got a lady vocalist who actually looks kind of hot. All I ask is be better than Arch Enemy in the last 10 years.
I mean, Arch Enemy Live kicked ass, but in terms of albums wise,
They haven't been great since Angela left.
I mean, I have one album. It's Power to Will, Will to Power.
World of Power.
I mean, I got it because I didn't have any Arch Enemy. It was really good, and it's fucking autographed by the entire band. So Michael Lamont, I have his fucking pick.
I guess that's all.
For now.
Oh, the updated ones. Well, actually, I forgot this was coming out February 10th. Dark Thrones Goat Lord Original.
They're like what, EPs or compilations?
No, it's oh, I see. It's the original tape of the Goat Lord sessions, but with no vocals and remastered.
Mm.
And the album cover looks fucking cool. I actually might buy this.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Because I got the original Goat Lord, which has the shitty vocals.
Mm-hmm.
I love you, Fenris, but don't be doing high-pitched female stuff
No,
with the pitch shifters.
don't go all King Diamond on us.
But yeah, Goat Lord Original. So the lineup is the Soulside Journey lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, additional notes transferred from Fenris's personal tape and mastered by Patrick Ingle at Temple of Disharmony Studios. So
Yeah.
yeah, I actually might buy this because it's 11 tracks, 45 minutes, all instrumentals, including, I guess it looks like a demo for the song Blasphemer off of Total Death and a demo for the song A Blaze in the Northern Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Like on the Go Lord that I have, it probably will sound better with this mastering that's being done. So yeah, I might actually buy it, and the album cover looks really cool.
Yeah, not.
So I'll have both versions of Goat Lord.
Not your usual Dark Throne album cover.
No, looks like very sci-fi.
Yeah, kind of like the Cattle Decap album cover for the new album.
Oh,
I fucking love that album cover.
Yeah, even though it's not Wes Spin Scooter, who actually has done all the Cattle Decap covers since I think Monolith of Inhumanity, and he also did the new Bloodbath. So yeah.
I need to get more cattle. I need to get cattle in general.
Well, actually, if I'm gonna get any cattle albums,
Monolith,
Anthropocene Extinction, Harvest Floor, and maybe Karma Bloody Karma. The early stuff, not really, because they were more crappy.
I think with cattle, to me, what was the album that they had the cow and the
Humanure.
I think after Humanure.
After Humanure, like from Karma Bloody Karma to now is where they really hit their stride. Like Human Jerky and Homivore, terrible. Not that great. Shitty sounding gore grind before they went into the prog death grind sound that began on and then there's To Serve Man, which that was their first one on Metal Blade, and that one maybe that's an iffy. But yeah, like Humanure, I'd probably go everything from Humanure down to uh, Anthropocene before Terracite comes out.
I
But yeah,
think,
definitely Monolith is like the must-have, and Harvest Floor as well.
yeah, I need to get any cat. I would love Monolith. That's like the one that everyone wants.
Because of forced
For
gender
gender
reassignment.
excitement, yeah. Death
Arguably the
Atlas,
second most brutal song of all time in metal behind Hammer Smash Face.
yeah. Death Atlas, of course. I need to get that eventually. I might get the new. I might get the new album. Um,
And hell, like Terracite, it looks like they're stripping things down a little bit. Like it's only 10 tracks and
yeah,
it's much shorter than Death Atlas. Whereas I think with Death Atlas, they try to get a little more ambitious,
adventurous.
especially with the title track being nearly 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, so they might be
and
stripping back down to where they were on like Anthropocene and
I mean,
Monolith.
when I saw them live, they usually play like majority. I mean, the entire set was Death Atlas songs.
They didn't play Forced Gender Reassignment.
No, I
That's
was
a
like,
shocker because that's like a live favorite.
I hope they play Forest Gender Reinside because that's like the one song everyone wants to
And the
hear.
live version when they played it in 2012 in Europe, it's like holy shit, it was insanity. Like
Yeah,
watching Travis do his fucking trick with his tongue where he does those like really high, almost
yeah.
black metalish vocals.
But then
Like,
again, I mean, Cattle was the first band that played on the show. I think they had like a maybe 35 minutes, 45-minute set.
yeah,
If it was like a co-headlining tour, having more time, they probably would have played Forest Gender
more on
Reassignment.
other songs.
Yeah, but Ryan, dude, the fuck, man?
He's a fucking death metal vocal mastermind.
Yeah.
Like he can do the guttural gurgles, he can do the Bill Steer growls, and he can do black metal vocals and sound like a pissed off Care Bear on helium.
I mean, it's just amazing when, of course, there's a big ass difference when you listen to a band on CD or radio or digital, but see them live. Like I was shocked when I saw Napalm and Barney just began to go nuts. I couldn't catch up to him. I was trying to sing along with him, and I was like, dude, you're going fucking fast. And
Yeah.
he's in his 50s. And he jumps like he's in his 20s. Same thing with Ryan. Ryan's in his almost like mid 40s.
Well, he's nearing 50. I think
Yeah.
next year he'll be 50.
Yeah, and he fucking can still go at it.
I will admit his hair is weird.
Yeah.
Like it's like when he grows it long, it's like it doesn't look quite right. He's even said that on Twitch streams. Like hell, he got like pulled over to one side. He's like, why does this have to happen?
Oh man, I would have loved to meet the guys in Cattle. I would have loved that.
I think Travis would have been a total goofball.
Yeah.
Travis would have been a total goof for you to hang out with.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, with Napalm, hell, I was able to get Sean's pick. I mean, for me, I was like, if I have the chance to get a pick or something from the band,
from Shane Embry.
Yeah.
Shane Embry, yeah.
I'll
Who was the guitarist? Was it John Cook? Did he have long dreads?
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
John.
it was John Cook. Yeah, because Mitch Heresy hasn't toured in almost 10 years because of family issues, but he's still in the band.
Yeah.
Just doing the studio albums. Kind of like Kyle Severin and Incantation. He's in the band for the studio albums, but he don't play live anymore.
Mm.
And he lives in Columbus too, so not far from me.
Yeah. And
it's still hilarious. Fucking Seth Putnam of Anal Cunt wrote a song in Anal Cunt called "Kyle from Incantation Has a Mustache." Well, he's got a fucking one of the best mustaches in death metal.
Yeah. So pretty much all the picks I have collected over the years: Carcass, Arch Enemy, Amon Amarth, Omen, Motor Gator, and Shinedown. Those are like the only ones I have. I've had a couple of drumsticks I have here on the wall. Of course, pictures with the bands, tickets have a shitload, wristbands shitload. I for going to concerts since I was 18. See, I'm 26, so for 8 years, it's pretty good. Then of course, Broqueria, dude. I If I can meet Juan Brujo, I'm gonna fucking lose it. I'm gonna fucking lose it, man. I mean, cause Brujeria, the promoter brought them back in 2011. I mean, I was going into high school. I didn't know about them 2 years later. I was like, fuck, man. I wish I could have seen them. And then he just like, I'm bringing them back. I was like, what? I was like, you motherfucker.
You know what I was just thinking about with Maryland Death Fest next year?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be awesome if they could book Blood Red Throne for that festival? I don't see why not, especially since if we're getting this new album in the second half of the year,
mm-hmm.
why not come over for the biggest death metal festival in the States?
I mean, there's still time.
Yeah, because those bands I brought up, that's not even all of them set for today.
Oh God, I'm just
or set for the.
I've never been to a festival. That's like one of my bucket lists. But the problem I would have is which band to go to. Like, it just say as an example, let's just say Behemoth's playing at the same time as Insomnia, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck am I gonna go to see?
Right.
I mean, also
because you just have to pick and choose what bands to see, and also when to take breaks to get food.
Yeah.
Because I know after watching Nick and John talk about when they went to the shows last year, yeah, they're like basically they were on a diet of Advil, Subway, and cigarettes.
I mean, just ask Hannah. She's been to Vakken. So ask Hannah, ask Archer. They've been to Vakken, Bagos, Grass Pop. They'll fucking tell you. I still.
It was funny, and it's funny that right on the last day after the last day of the festival, and they were heading back to their hotel. They got approached by a hooker.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, they were just casually talking, and then she's following them like, "Hey, you guys want to party?" And John's like, "Well, as long as I've known this guy, that's not happening." And Nick's like, "Man, I should have told her. Man, I'm sorry, but I left my dick at home when packing."
Yeah,
that would have been hilarious. And then it's funny how they went to the wrong gate at the airport, but they got to meet the founder of the festival, their mom, Evan's mom, who was very, very nice.
I mean, things happen for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. I mean, I'm just happy you actually got to go to an actual concert.
Yeah. And now the itch to go to another
yes. One. Once you go to one, you want to go to another one.
And then another, and then another.
Trust me. I remember going to
trying to find the right shows and the right
exactly. Band. You gotta pick your poison. I wish I could go see Creator in Sepultura. I would love, but then again, I already bought tickets for Villevalo a year in advance. It's a month apart, and I can't keep asking dates at work. So you gotta sometimes pick your battles, Right. If the tour was like in the summer, probably would have gone like June, July, which I'm still hoping, because I know Swallow Sun and Moonspell were supposed to have a summer tour last year, but they canceled it because of legal reasons. So I'm hoping that they announce a tour for the States in summer, and I can finally fucking go see them.
I mean, if there's still time, if they still have tickets left by the time it gets close to this, I could attempt on my birthday week, the day after my birthday, go to the Mastodon Gojira show.
Go.
That's only if the tickets are available, because right now I've seen some of the shows for this tour, they've been selling out already.
When are the tickets starting to sell?
They've started selling just a couple days ago.
And do they have any on the venue that you want to go to?
Like maybe few that's shown,
How
but
much? How much are they?
$71.
You know what?
I
Buy
would
it.
do it, but I can't buy anything right now. That's the sucky part. I can't buy anything right now. I'm actually trying. I really am trying right now to save up to get a GoPro camera. So
Hmm.
that way I can stop using
Yeah.
this for recordings, but
I
still keep it
mean,
for
I mean,
streams.
maybe when you get your income tax, if you get do it on time.
Maybe, maybe, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah, but same thing with Metallica, man. I wish I could have bought the tickets to see Metallica, but man,
I
they
just wish they would have had a fucking Ohio show, and I would have bought it, no questions asked.
you would have even bought the meet and greet.
I probably would have bought the meet and greet. I
Cause
would have. I would
how
have
much
bought the
is
meet
the
and
meet and
greet.
greet? Like $1,000?
I don't think it would be that much. Maybe like a couple hundred, but
Like maybe like four, maybe
more
5.
like two. More
But
like
then
two
again,
hundred.
but then again, the meet and greet, it depends because we know James is one of those guys that really doesn't like doing the meet and greets for personal reasons.
No, it's
Not
not that he
always.
doesn't like it. It's just he's just a very private person.
Yeah, I mean it's
But
understandable.
as I've seen footage of him meeting fans, he's super good
Oh
with the
yeah, no,
fans.
no, 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 no,
Ours
James.
especially is super good with the fans.
No, no,
Kirk,
I mean
Rob,
none.
I mean they all are. It's just
I
because
mean,
James, he's the star,
I mean,
and he's had a
yeah,
tumultuous
yeah,
life,
yeah,
with
yeah.
alcohol and
I
now
mean,
divorced.
thankfully he's in a better place now. He got sober. I mean, I think
And
he came out of
also
rehab.
and also he fucking I don't know how, but the guy's almost 60 and he sounds better than he's ever sounded vocally.
Mhm.
Like those two new songs, it's like holy shit, how does he keep getting better as a singer?
Mhm.
It's insane. Now I'm curious to hear if they'll release another single here in like a month or two. Probably
Probably.
one more, and then once the album drops, they'll probably do the same thing they did for Hardwired, and that's music video for each track.
Mhm. And it's funny. Do you remember how they were releasing the music videos? Like, was it 1 hour after the other?
Yeah, for every fucking track, and
Like,
like Man Unkind
I
with the
I,
scenes
re-
from Lords of Chaos.
I remember. It was my second year of college at the same time this was happening with the album, and of course I was enjoying every single video. And then I think I was going on my way to my last class of the day, and hard and not hardwired. Spit Out the Bone was released. I
Yeah,
was like, I have time. I have some time to chill before I get into the class. Holy shit! I was like, dude, what the fuck? I immediately lost my shit in the
yeah,
middle of
because
the
that is
hallway.
a hell of a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 minutes of thrashy insanity. But yeah, so far with these two tracks, Lex Eterna, mostly in that like Motorhead, Diamond Head, worship sound,
Mhm.
and then Screaming Suicide, more like act proper, mid tempo, thrashy stuff. Kind of like a slower Zentric song a little bit, and also reminded me of No Remorse
Mhm.
in the rhythms. But I can only assume that that final track, actually, let me take a look at the track listing again. I can only assume that the final song, Innemorata, is probably a thrashy barn burner because that seems to be a tradition with
Mhm.
Metallica's thrashy albums. They end off with a barn burner, like Metal Militia on Kill 'Em All. Maybe
Mhm.
not as much Call of Cthulhu on Ride Lightning, but Damage Inc. on Master Puppets,
Okay.
Dyer's Eve, and Justice, Struggle Within on the Black Album, My Apocalypse, Death Magnetic, Spit Out the Bone, Hardwired. So I can only imagine that
Yeah.
that final track is going to be the fastest song of the
Yeah.
album.
I'm still hoping, maybe because me, I will love eventually Unforgiven 4. You know,
I don't think that'll
I
happen.
know,
And
I
they
know,
don't need to. The trilogy was fine the way it was.
I
And
know.
the third one was the perfect send off to that
Mhm.
trilogy. I
Yeah.
still say that song is almost as good as part one. Part
Especially
two is really good,
good.
but very
Yeah.
strange in comparison.
Especially Unforgiven 3, the whispers with the piano. It was like,
Yeah,
what?
instead of the classic horn, Instead, you get this somber piano beginning.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then hell, hearing the symphonic version on S&M 2, where it's just the orchestra and James,
Mhm.
fucking James was like crooning and bellowing that fucking song. Although I will admit it is weird to see James sing without him holding a guitar.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
just getting that out there.
Yeah.
Though I will say the only complaints I've really got about the new songs, the production's pretty much exactly the same as Hardwired, like almost like note for note, like the same. Then
Mhm.
again, it's Greg Fiedelman who did Hardwired, so yeah, you can kind of see why it would be kind of the same. But it's kind of the same syndrome as Andy Sneap, where it's like, yeah, Andy Sneap's production, people are starting to get sick of it because it is kind of universal,
Mhm.
but it's good.
It's good.
So I
Like
like Greg Fiedelman's production. So I don't. Yeah, that could be the only complaint, but even at that, it still works.
I wouldn't be surprised in the next Priest album sounds the same as Firepower and Redeemer of Souls because those are fucking killer ass albums.
Well, Redeemer, I'm not the biggest fan of the production on Redeemer. I thought it was way too thin. The songs were good, but I did
Mhm.
not like the production.
Or at least like
Firepower,
Firepower.
Firepower was perfect
Mhm.
with Andy Sneap and Tom Allen working together,
Mhm.
getting that Andy Sneap crunch. So yeah, if they, because I think they'll do Andy Sneap again, especially since he's still touring guitars for
Mhm.
Priest right now. So it's obvious Andy Sneap would do the new Priest album. I actually would be curious to hear Andy Sneap do a Metallica album. I think it would sound amazing. Like
That'd
get a
be
heavier guitar tone
that
out of them,
that'd
heavier
be
drum
interesting.
sound. Because after all, he's done every Testament album since The Gathering in '99. Granted, yeah, it's since Formation of Damnation, it does sound kind of samey in the production, but because you know what a Testament album's gonna sound like
Mhm.
now, but it's cool. Although, yeah, you could almost interchange songs from the last
Mhm.
4 albums,
Yeah.
but it's still good.
I'm just wondering with Priest, with Priest, like a band like Priest or a band like Metallica, like with Priest mostly, if the next album is gonna be the last one.
Yeah, because you think, Priest been around since 1969.
Hmm. See, I mean Metallica, I do see them like with this one,
Lasting another decade, maybe.
maybe one more, and they'll call
Or
it.
maybe even 2 more if they get them out quicker and
Yeah,
not wait
because yeah,
6, 7 years.
7 years. That's what I was gonna say. If they take that long between albums, then
Then one more. But if they could do them like every 3, 4 years,
years
maybe two.
to because
Maybe two.
from Deck Magnetic
Hardwired, Death Magnetic to Hardwired, that was
Wire.
8 years. And then from Hardwired to 72 seasons, 6.5.
I mean, I honestly thought 72 seasons, 72 songs, like a triple album. Can you
Holy
imagine?
shit.
Can you imagine?
It wouldn't even be a triple album. It'd be a fucking like quadruple or whatever it's for five, a 5 disc thing.
Oh, pentagraphum. Penta. I know it's five. Penta, cinco. A quad, king, something around those lengths.
Quintuple, I think that's what it is. Is it
Okay.
quintuple? Yeah, quintuple. Yeah, it would be a quintuple album if it was 5 discs. Which I love Metallica, but I don't know if I could handle a 5 disc album. That'd take me days to get through, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I haven't even listened to all of Songs from the North, but I feel like it'd take me forever to get through all 3 discs.
I mean, it's an hour. I mean, things like 2.5 hours, the entire album.
Yeah, I'd have to be in the right mood to go through all 3 discs in one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I barely had the patience to get through Senjutsu 2 years ago in one sitting.
Senjutsu. Still fucking kick-ass album.
It's
And again,
good.
it's good.
I think maybe I don't
Book
know.
to
Book of
me,
Souls. I think Book of Souls had the better closer than
yeah.
Senjutsu.
Honestly, Book of Souls should have been their last album because they ended with Empire of the Clouds, their longest song, the song that it kind of throw everybody off with the piano and the storytelling. I think it
Yeah.
would have been a fitting way to end Maiden's discography because I'm pretty sure
They
I mean,
can probably continue touring until they can't.
to this day, and I know it's never gonna happen. The day they play Alexander the Great, you know the end is near.
Mm-hmm.
Because to this day, I have no fucking idea. Nobody knows why they're not playing Alexander the Great. Because it's not a complicated song that I can think of.
I want a catchy Maiden songs.
Or maybe it's something legally that they can do it,
Or maybe they just don't want to.
but they've never played it once. Once, not even during the Power Slave. No, not even Power Slave.
The
No,
Somewhere in Time
Somewhere in
tour.
Time tour, which it would have been fitting. It's in there with Alexander the Great. Or maybe it's a song too complicated.
I don't think so. I mean, they play Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
True.
13 and a half minutes of crazy shit.
True. I would love. I
Or
mean,
anything from Seventh Son, you know?
yeah.
That's more complicated.
I think the only way we're gonna get Empire of the Clouds is they do like an orchestra version of it live. Because
Well,
knowing
actually,
Maiden,
you know what would be kind of interesting if they did a whole tour where they just played the final songs of each album. So you would get Hollowed,
well,
To Tame a Land, Rhyme of the Ancient
Team
Mariner, Alexander the
Mariner,
Great, Only the Good Die Young, Mother Russia,
and Matter,
Fire
no,
the Clouds,
Fire of the
and
Clouds.
Hell on
Yeah,
Earth,
that'd be
and
interesting.
Where the Wild Wind Blows. Like play all
Oh,
the closing songs from all the albums.
orchestralized. Ooh,
Nah, keep it straightforward.
yeah.
Don't
That'd
go
be,
super elaborate. Behemoth.
oh, come on. Hey, Behemoth Live fucking kicks ass.
I mean, I'm sorry, Behemoth, but you gotta quit chasing the Satanist. You're
I
never
know
going to top it.
there's.
Go back to Evangelion, Demigod, the Apostasy, like the more brutal, fast Black Death.
Like I said, I love Nurgle to death, but I'm sorry, Nurgle. I'm sorry to say this. You are never gonna replicate, duplicate, surpass the Satanist, especially having your closing song being your best song to date ever. After almost a 20 plus year career, you come back stronger than ever. You create one of the most impactful albums of the 2010s. Close the album with one of the most impactful closing tracks of all time. An anthem that live, personally seeing live, was something of its own. You know, like I never thought in a million years I will see Behemoth and end their set with "Oh Father, Oh Satan, Oh Son." I didn't, because that was the second day of the tour with, which was with Behemoth, Arch Enemy,
And Napalm
Napalm,
Death.
and onto others. The first day was in Arizona, and I think it was Phoenix, and Behemoth closed. When I saw them the second day in San Antonio, Arch Enemy closed. Which, honestly, I wish Behemoth would have closed. Maybe because I'm being selfish, but Arch Enemy was fucking badass. But it's Behemoth, man. It's Behemoth. And they open with Ora por Nobres Lucifer. Yes, they open por Horas por Nobres Lucifer. They play Wolves of Siberia. They play Back to Bell. They play the first single from the new album, Course of Father, Satan, No Son. They play theme songs from Evangelion.
Probably Fire in the Void. That
I
would have
think that,
been the big one
yeah,
from that album.
yeah. I think they played from
Or
Demi.
did they also play At the Left Hand of God from the Apostasy? Did they play that one?
I think they did. I don't know. I have to recheck the set list. Let me check.
Because if they didn't play that song, that'd be kind of a surprise.
I think they did. Let me check. Give me just a second.
Or Conquer All from
Oh yeah,
Demigod.
Conqueror for sure. They did play Conqueror. I know that for a fact. Let me just go back. When did I see them? It was till like April. So I'm to go all the way back. October, July. Maine. Let's see. Colorado, Chicago, Massachusetts, Philadelphia, New York, Toronto, Charlotte, Atlanta, Florida, Dallas. Here we go. Here we go. Found the set list. So they open with Ora Pro Nobis Lucifer, then Wolves of Siberia, A Fire in the Void,
Yes.
and then Evo, or Evo A, whatever you want to call it, Christians to the Lions, Barzabel, Conquer All, Of My Herculean Exile, which was the single of the new album. And then they play Decade of Therion, Slaves Shall Serve, Chant for Eshtan 2000, and they close with A Father Who Saved No Son.
So no at the left hand of God. That is a surprise. That's weird. I don't get why they wouldn't play that song.
I mean, I don't know.
That was maybe the best song off of the Apostasy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, then again,
it's kind of weird.
Again, they gotta cut songs. They gotta put some songs, you know.
But oh boy, whew, that was a ripper. Not a Ripper Owens, for anybody wonder. Wouldn't it be kind of interesting if they did like a Polish 4 tour of Hate, Behemoth, Vader, and Decapitated?
I mean,
the best 4 Polish metal bands touring together.
It would be a pretty good sight, pretty amazing show.
And I would say, in terms of who opens and who closes, Hate opens, then Decapitated. Controversially, I'm going to say Behemoth and Vader should close, because without Vader, you wouldn't have the other 3 bands.
True, or maybe
after all, Vader, huge inspiration on Behemoth and Hate and Decapitated. Hell, fucking Peter from Vader produced the first Decapitated album when the guys were like in high school. I would have Vader close the whole tour, Behemoth next, and then Decapitated.
Or would you have it or would you have it where each band closes a different day? Or at least Vader and Behemoth.
Maybe just swap with Behemoth and Vader, because Decapitated, I don't think they are quite at that level, at least compared to Vader and Behemoth, to headline over them. And Hate obviously is like the lesser known out of the 4. Although I don't know what that new Decapitated album with the guests they had, like Rob Flynn and Tatiana from Ginger, maybe that kind of pushed them up the scale a little bit more, but I don't think it would still be enough to beat out Behemoth or Vader.
Same thing with Teutonic 4 of Thrash. Who would you have close?
Probably Creator.
Yeah, probably.
Since they are the bigger of the 4, I would have Tankard open, then Destruction,
Sodom, Creator. Yeah.
Even though, honestly, I wish they would put Exhumer in the 4 instead of Tankard, to be honest, because Exhumer's much better. And are far more consistent and don't constantly sing about beer. I mean, I respect Tankard, but to me, Exhumer fits into those other 3 bands far better.
Or hell, Holy Moses.
Yeah, just by age, but still, they haven't been really active in a long time. Whereas Exhumer, they've been on a roll for the past couple of albums.
Yeah.
Pretty much doing what Slayer should have been doing on Repentless.
Yeah.
So, I think Exhumer would be a better fit. Obviously, they would still open than Destruction, Sodom, closing.
How about the Swedish scene? Who would you have open and close?
If it was Grave, Unleashed, Dismember, and Entombed, I would say open with Grave, then Unleashed, then Dismember, then Entombed.
Of course, I was gonna say you gotta have Entombed.
Bro, you have to have Entombed closed. Granted, if they can get a new vocalist and bassist, maybe we could get a new Entombed album, because you got Ufe, Alex and Nick together
Mm-hmm.
as Entombed. It's just, yeah, either or, it's still going to feel weird without LG.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, Nick did the vocals on Clandestine, and they were good. But
Yeah.
obviously, he can't drum and sing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Braun Daler or Chris Ryford levels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What other scene could we do? I mean, Norway, kind of the easiest one, you know.
Well, we can't include Dark Thrones because they don't
Yeah,
tour. So
they
that
don't.
would be Mayhem, Immortal, Gorgoroth, Satyricon.
Yeah,
Uh, I would
and
open probably with Gorgoroth,
Ross.
then Satyricon, then Immortal, then Mayhem. But if you have Emperor,
I was gonna
they
say,
would
yeah,
close. They would
yeah.
close over Mayhem for
Mhm.
me. Well, you could
Um,
go either or. I mean, you could go with Emperor because of the more elaborate show, but you could give it to Mayhem because Mayhem without Mayhem, you wouldn't have the other bands.
yeah,
Actually, you know what? Mayhem close
Mayhem
over.
closes. I mean, they,
Though if
let's.
Dark Throne toured, I would have them right before the closer.
Hmm.
Like if it was Enslaved, Dark Throne, Emperor, and Mayhem, I would do Enslaved, Immortal,
hmm
or no, Enslaved, Emperor, Dark Throne, Mayhem.
mm, let's see. What's another one we could
But the
think of?
closest you'll ever get to Dark Throne touring is if Nocturno does something with another band, like he
Hmm.
did for Vok in '04, where he played with Satyricon
Hmm.
and played 2 Dark Throne tracks and also did Mother North since he was on that album.
Hmm. Florida death metal scene.
Okay, we can't include Death since they're no longer around.
Hmm.
And
We'll
we're
be.
only doing Florida bands, not bands that moved to Florida. So
Mhm.
4 Florida bands. Probably so Morbid Angel, Deicide, Obituary, and probably go Atheist.
Okay.
I would open with Atheist, then I'd go Deicide, then Obituary, and close with Morbid Angel.
Okay. Same thing. New York.
New York Death Metal. Oh, Jesus Christ. So Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation, Immolation, and Mortician.
Yeah,
Probably
tough.
probably open with Mortician. Then I'd go
Suffocation.
Immolation. Then I'd go Immolation, then Suffocation, close with Cannibal.
Mm.
I didn't
Uh,
include Incantation because they were from New Jersey and now Ohio,
yeah.
Pennsylvania. So
Let's see here. German power metal.
God damn it. Probably
Halloween, Blind Guardian for sure. Maybe
Gamma Ray,
Gamma.
and I can't think of a fourth one.
Stradivarius. Are they German or they're?
Uh, I'd probably go Stradivarius, Gamma Ray, Blind Guardian, Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have Halloween clothes because they're
Yeah.
the Godfathers.
Uh, Bay Area thrash.
So that would be Death Angel, Exodus, Testament, Metallica. I'd probably go open with Death Angel. I mean, we know Metallica's closing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so that's a no-brainer. So after Death Angel, probably would go Exodus, then Testament, then Metallica. Only because Testament's a bigger band than
Yeah.
Exodus. Even though seniority-wise, I would say Exodus should go before
Mhm.
Metallica.
Grindcore scene UK.
Well, there's only well, that makes it tougher because Carcass hasn't been grind since Reek.
Well, I mean that started as
Bolt
grind.
Thrower, and then Bolt started as grind. And I wouldn't even include Bolt Thrower because they were still more death metal with some grind, but not enough. So really, it'd only be 3. Open with
Okay.
Extreme Noise Terror, then Carcass, and then
Okay.
Concept.
UK thrash.
UK thrash. Well, really, there's only a few. Sabbath, Evil, Onslaught, Eccentrics. Probably open with Sabbath. Then I would go Evil, Zentrix, close with Onslaught.
Mm, what else? Trying to think of other areas. Uh, Norway death metal.
Well, I only know two
Well, yeah,
bands, Dark
true.
Skog and Blood Red Throne,
Throne.
so that's not fair.
Texas thrash.
So Rigor Mortis, Power Trip, let's see, Watchtower, DRI.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably open with Watchtower, then I would go Rigor Mortis, then Power Trip, and close with DRI.
Finland. Trying to think what
Finland Death Metal.
Finland death metal. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be Amorphous, Convulse.
Insomnia. I mean, they're more mellow.
Okay, so Convulse, or no, actually, we'll take Convulse out. No, let's put in Convulse. So, Amorphous, Convulse, Demigod, Demolich. Probably open with Convulse, then Demigod, then Demolich, then Amorphous.
What haven't we said?
Swedish Melodeath.
Swedish
So
Melodeath.
that would be At the Gates, In Flames, Dark Tranquility, Amon Amarth. Open with Dark Tranquility, then Arch Enemy, then In Flames. Or actually, no, why did I say Amon? Hang on. No Arch Enemy. At the Gates, Dark Tranquility, In Flames, and Amon Amarth. No Arch Enemy. So in that case, open with Dark Tranquility, then In Flames, then Amon Amarth, close with At the Gates.
Okay. I really can't see no wobble. That's like the obvious one. It will be obvious.
Obviously, Maiden closing.
Mm-hmm. Trying to think other areas, other genres.
Ooh, I got one. Massachusetts Metalcore.
Ooh.
So that would be Killswitch, Shadows Fall, Unearth, and Overcast. Probably open with Overcast, then Unearth, Shadows Fall, and Killswitch close.
Interesting.
I actually am curious because now that Shadows Fall is back together, make a new album. Because I think Shadows Fall out of the four, the best of the four.
LA Thrash.
So Slayer, Megadeth, Dark Angel, Agent Steel. Open with Agent Steel, then Dark Angel, then Megadeth, then Slayer. Or you could honestly flip flop Megadeth and Slayer, and you wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got one. American prog metal.
Oh God.
So let's see. Tool, Fate's Warning, Queensryche, Dream Theater. Open with Fate's Warning, then Queensryche, then
Pick your poison.
Dream Theater.
How about No, not no. Not that one. How about trying to look through here. Think of ideas. Fuck. LA glam metal.
So let's see, Motley Crue, Quiet Riot, Quiet Riot, Wasp, and Dokken. Actually, no, we'll take Quiet Riot out and put in Rat. Rat, Dawkins, Motley, Wasp. Probably open with
Dawkins,
Dawkins. Then I would go
Rat.
Rat, then Wasp, then Motley.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
I'm trying to think of another one.
Detroit, death metal.
There's
No.
only Black Dahlia.
No, I was thinking of Repulsion.
You were thinking Michigan, which there's only two that I know, and that's Repulsion and Black Dahlia.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, I'm trying to think of other states.
I'm still trying to think of one.
How about thrash?
Oh, I got one. Brazilian thrash.
Yeah,
so
I was going to
be Sepultura, Sarcophago, Mutilator, Volcano. Open with Mutilator, then Volcano, Sarcophago, Sepultura.
Mm-hmm.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Ooh, Canadian speed metal. Voivod, Exciter, Sacrifice, and Anvil.
Open with Sacrifice, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then I would probably go Anvil, then Exciter, then Voivod. Mm-hmm. I didn't include Annihilator or Razor because I think they're thrash.
Okay, Canadian thrash.
Now, Canadian thrash, yeah, Annihilator, Razor, 3 Inches of Blood, and I'm trying to think of like a straight up thrash band from Canada that's not speed or power inspired. Honestly, that's all I can think of.
What haven't we touched upon?
Ooh, Swedish black metal.
Oh, God.
So, Dissection, Watain, Marduk, Dark Funeral.
Oh, God. Well, Dissection, no longer around, so...
Oh, yeah, I forgot, so we'll take them out. Then in their place... I'm trying to think of another big Swedish black band right now.
Well, just...
Naglfar.
Okay.
Naglfar. So open with Naglfar, then probably go Dark Funeral, Marduk, Watain.
Yeah.
Now, actually, how about Swedish Blackened Death or Melodic Black Death? So that would be Dissection, Necrophobic. We'll include Dissection, fuck it. Yeah. Dissection, Necrophobic, Sacramentum, and Dawn. So that would probably be for me Dawn, Sacramentum, Necrophobic,
Dissection.
But if you don't include Dissection and you want to replace them with somebody else that's Melodic Black Death or Black Death from Sweden, then the other one would probably be Naglfar again. So then in that case, Dawn, Sacramentum, Naglfar, Necrophobic.
Swedish prog death.
Okay, so Opeth, Edge of Sanity, Abstract Illusion, and In Mourning. Mm-hmm. So I would open with Abstract Illusion, then In Mourning, Edge of Sanity, then Opeth.
Really?
Well, Opeth's the bigger band.
But really, would you?
Well, actually, we can't even include Edge of Sanity because they're no longer around. So then they'll take their place then. Let me look up In Mourning, see if there were any other Swedish prog death bands that they were compared to. Let me double check.
Oh, I just thought of another one. I'll say too, unless you're finished.
Holy mother of crap. You know what? Fuck it. I'll just keep Edge of Sanity in
Yeah.
there because I can't find any other.
New York hardcore.
Okay, so Agnostic Front, Cro-Mags, Leeway, and fuck it, I'll add SOD.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, I would open with Leeway, then I would go Cro-Mags, then I would go SOD, headline with Agnostic Front.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and even SOD is kind of an iffy one because they were more thrash,
Mm-hmm.
but just had some of that. But then again, New York hardcore was thrash influenced.
Mm-hmm. How about Louisiana
Sludge.
sludge? Yeah.
Okay, in that case, so let's see.
Down. I think
Yeah,
down.
Down, Acid Bath, I Hate God,
God.
and Crowbar.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, I would open with
Acid down.
Acid Bath, then
Yeah.
I Hate
I
God,
hate God.
then Crowbar, then Down.
I think Crawlbark and Down would kind of swap.
I think Down would headline over just because of Phil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I got one. Seattle Grunge. Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden.
Okay.
What do you choose?
Pearl Jam would open. Soundgarden. But then that's where it gets typical with Alice and Nirvana.
Probably most people would say Nirvana closes.
Hell, I think I would go with Alice in Chains closing. I mean,
if it were bands that are still around from Seattle, which would be Melvins, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, and I think Mudhoney's still around.
I think so. I think they're still around.
So then, in that case, it would be Mudhoney, Melvins, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains. But then, if you don't include Alice in Chains, because I don't think they're grunge, then you're kind of fucked.
Yeah. How about
and then even the Melvins, because they're a sludge band.
Yeah.
So then it's just Mudhoney and Pearl Jam.
Okay, this is the easiest one. UK Doom.
UK Doom. So Sabbath, Cathedral,
St. Vitus.
They're
American. Yeah. I was confused.
So Cathedral, Sabbath, UK Doom.
Isn't Cattleman's UK?
That's Sweden.
Oh, yeah.
That's Sweden. And I don't know if you would include My Dying Bride or Paradise Lost.
No. That's more gothic.
Mm-hmm.
UK Doom.
Death Doom.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's really only Sabbath and Cathedral for UK Doom that at least we can remember. Oh, Witchfinder General and Pagan Altar.
Yeah.
Pagan Altar. Okay, in that sense, open with Cathedral, then Pagan Altar, Witchfinder, Sabbath.
Now, UK Death Doom. Oh, God.
So Paradise Lost, My Dying
Bride, and Enchantment. So in that
probably case, Enchantment, Anathema, My Dying Bride, Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost, and then My Dying Bride.
Paradise Lost has to close.
Well, maybe
they were earlier.
Maybe they could swap. Maybe they could swap.
Nah, they would close. They would close.
Okay.
No debate there.
Okay. Finland.
Boss has said American Tech Death. Ooh.
Oh, God.
So Atheist.
Yes.
Trying to remember other cool tech death bands from America that I actually like. So yeah, Atheist.
No. Is Meshuggah American?
Swedish.
Yeah.
Swedish. Okay, Atheist. Oh, motherfucker.
Let's just go to Metallum.
I'll do it.
Yeah, American Tech Death.
I'm starting off with Atheist.
Nocturnus? No?
Oh, yeah, Nocturnus, Atheist, Blood Incantation, and at least that's around that still plays Tech Death.
Mm-hmm.
here in America. So yeah, Blood Incantation, Nocturnus, Atheist, and oh man. Let me look at the Nocturnus page and see. Okay, let me look at another one. The fourth one. A fourth wild kooky one. You know, because I think they're technical enough. Immolation.
Yeah.
Okay, so open with Blood Incantation. Then I would go Nocturnus. Then Immolation. Then Atheist. So after all, but if Death was in there, then it'd be Death.
Death, yeah. American Death Grind.
Okay, so
Cattle Decap.
Cattle Decap, Terrorizer, Pig Destroyer, and Exhumed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would open with Pig Destroyer. Then I would actually go Cattle.
Really?
Then Exhumed, then Terrorizer. Because I think Exhumed's overall better band. And they've been around far longer than Cattle.
True.
So. Oh, Boss just got one. New Wave of American Metal.
Lamb of God.
So the Lamb of God, Avenged Sevenfold, Mastodon, Killswitch.
Switch Engage.
Like the four biggest ones. Oh, Jesus.
God. Okay.
I think to open, probably would have to go with Mastodon.
Really? Mastodon opening?
Well, they're not as big as the other three.
I would have Killswitch open, to be honest.
Well, Killswitch is a bigger band. I'm solely basing it on who's bigger.
Okay.
So Mastodon would unfortunately have to open. Then I would probably say Lamb of God. Then Killswitch and Avenged headline.
Yeah, with Avenged headlining, but I think opening, I think Killswitch would be fine. And then Mastodon, and then
Lamb of God.
Lamb of God. But then again, I mean, oh man.
That's tough because they're all headline worthy, but out of the four, Mastodon's not as big. They're big, but not as big as the other three.
American black metal.
I do not know very many other than Uada. That's the only one that I know.
Okay, how about let's go. What was there was a country that we haven't mentioned. Let me just get it first.
Oh shit. Well, I mean, I know there's like atmospheric black, but I'm talking pure black.
Yeah.
Or melodic black. And I only know Uada. I mean, I know you got Wolves in the Throne Room.
Yeah. I got it. I got it. Irish black metal.
I only know two, Cruachan Primordial.
True.
I forgot Cruachan got a new album coming soon.
All right, let's go with an easy one. Finnish Jazz Doom. Hooded Menace.
All the Sun, Hooded Menace, Unholy, and Ripicolio.
Okay.
Probably go Ripicolio, Unholy,
Hooded, and then Swallow.
Yeah, even though I would prefer Hooded Menace clothes, but Swallow, yeah.
I was gonna say something in Japanese, but really don't that much.
Don't know that many Japanese bands. Like the only major Japanese bands I know are Darren Gray, Loudness,
X Japan,
Sabbath.
And they're all mixture.
And Coffins.
American Power Metal.
Man of War, Iced Earth, Camelot, and
Dio?
no, he doesn't count as power metal. He's
Yeah.
not power metal. What the fuck? Son of a bitch.
Manowar, Riot.
Oh yeah, Riot. Yeah,
Riot.
Riot, Iced Earth, Man of War, Camelot. Probably open with Camelot.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would go Riot.
Riot.
Then Iced Earth. Then Man of War.
Yeah,
Even
Manowar
though,
has to
even
close.
though out of the 4, Iced Earth's the best.
Yeah, Manowar has to close.
Yeah, because they'll probably have the most over the top stage set, and they have to go last.
Uh-huh.
Just like Venom has to go last for
Mhm.
anything, just because of the fucking pyro.
What other country have
And
been?
then last one for tonight.
Yeah. One more.
Let's try.
Just go something different.
I got it.
Hmm?
Canadian Tech Death.
Oh god.
So you got Gorguts,
What?
Arcspire, Neuraxis, and Beyond Creation. So I would, by that logic, open with Arcspire,
Mm-hmm.
then Neuraxis, Beyond Creation,
Creation, Gorguts. Yeah. Simple.
Yeah, because without Gorguts, you wouldn't have Tech Death in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, no. Forget. What was it? Okay, it was Gorguts, Neuraxis, Beyond Creation, and Arcspire. Get rid of Neuraxis, Cryptopsy.
Oh god.
And in that case, it would be Arcspire, Beyond Creation, Cryptopsy, Gorguts.
Yeah.
There we go. I almost forgot about Cryptopsy. I was like, wow, I have brain fart. All right, well, I think with that, I'm going to end this stream. We've been on here for 2 hours. Holy shit, I didn't think I'd go this long. But we ended up rambling incoherently for about 90 minutes. But anyways, I will see everybody. Wow.
Damn.
I will see you all Saturday for a review and for Shadow Cult and so on and so forth. But anyways, bye! I'm dead.